Factor each expression using the greatest common factor, and how many terms does the original expression have? Before I start any of my work, I'm going to go through and I'm going to change all of the subtraction signs to addition and change the number that follows it to its opposite sign. The ones that I have highlighted actually are all addition problems. So those are the ones I don't need to change. That's the reason for the highlighting. So number 1, I'm going to change subtraction to an addition and change my 24 to a negative 24. How many terms does this have? Well, when I count the number of terms, I look for my addition or subtraction signs in the problem. And then I count what is on either side of those, whether it's a coefficient in a variable or whether it's a constant. This is the term and this is a term. So for this one, I have 2 terms. For 1b, I have, this is representing this as a negative 9c. So I have this changes to an addition sign and the 81 becomes negative. This changes to an addition sign and the 36t becomes negative. So now I look at where my addition signs are and I look on either side and count how many terms I have. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. The next one, change this to an addition sign, make this its opposite. Find the signs that are addition or subtraction. Well, I've changed them all to addition. Look on either side. I have 1, 2 terms. You'll notice that, however, the number of signs that I circle, like I circled 1 addition sign here, I had 2 terms. I circled 1 addition sign. I had 2 terms. I circled 2 addition signs. I have 3 terms. The number of terms I have is always going to be 1 more than however many addition signs I circle. So for 2b, I'm going to change the subtraction to an addition and make my 6 negative. I don't have to change that at all. It's already addition. I've circled 2 addition signs. That means I have 1, 2, 3 terms. I don't have to do anything here. All I have is 1 addition sign, 2 terms. This is already an addition problem. Remember, this is just a negative sign. So I have 2 terms. This is saying that that's a negative 7. So this is plus a negative 49w. Circle my 1 addition sign. I have 2 terms. I have 1 subtraction sign here, so I'm going to change it to addition, make that negative. I have 2 addition signs now, so I have 1, 2, 3 terms. This one has all addition signs. Remember, this is just a negative. So I have 1, 2, 3 terms. Change the subtraction to an addition and the following one to its opposite sign. Circle my addition signs. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. Change the subtraction to an addition. The next number to its opposite sign. I have 1 addition sign. I have 2 terms. This is just a negative 10. So I have 1, 2 addition signs. Change my 80K to its opposite, negative 80K. I have 1, 2, 3 terms. Change my subtraction to an addition, and this one to its opposite. I have 1 addition sign, I have 2 terms. Change this, just move that up there. I already have an addition sign, I have 2 terms. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to factor each expression using the greatest common factor. So when I use the greatest common factor, there's 2 ways to go about this. I look at the numbers that do not have variables. So I'm looking at my 9 and my 24 right here. One way to go about it is to list all the factors of 9 and all the factors of 24. So I will do that here. 1 times 9 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9. Those are all the factors of 9. 24 has a lot of factors. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. I'm going to start with my number that was smaller because I can't have a factor that's larger than 9. So if 9 does not appear down here in this list, 9 is not the greatest common factor. My greatest common factor has to come from my number that is the lowest. So 3 is a greatest common factor. Notice that I don't just pull 9 out and write D plus 24. Some kids were doing this on their last assignment. Sometimes this number is the greatest common factor, but in this case it's not. So I can't use 9. So I'm going to use 3. And I'm going to erase this. And when I factor out, I'm always going to have a set of parentheses. I'm going to have the same sign that was in here. I wouldn't change these all to addition, so I know it's going to be an addition. So I'm going to bring down my variable so I don't forget about it. And now I just ask myself 3 times what number gives me 9? That's 3. 3 times what number gives me negative 24? Remember, I changed that to a negative. Well, that would be negative 8. There's my answer. 3 times the quantity, 3D plus negative 8. And if I'm uncertain of that, I can check it by using the distributive property and asking myself, when I multiply 3 times 3D, do I get 9D? Yes, I do. When I multiply 3 times negative 8, do I get negative 24? Yes, I do. That works. Next problem.
Costco.
So right here, I have 3 terms. Again, this is the other way. If you don't want to write out all of the factors for all of the numbers that are in the expression, find the smallest one and list those. We already know those from our first one. And I start at the end with my largest number, and I ask myself, is this number a factor of the other numbers that are in the expression? Well, I already know it's a factor. I already know it works for 9. Is 9 a factor of 81? Yes. 9 times 9 gives me 81. Is 9 a factor of 36? Yes. 9 times 4 gives me 36. So this is going to be my greatest common factor. So I'm going to write 9 outside of the parentheses, and I'm making these bigger because I have 3 terms. I'm going to bring down my variables so that I don't forget about those. I'm actually going to move this one over a little bit. And now I simply do my multiplication. 9 times what number would give me negative 9? Well, that would be a negative 1. 9 times negative 1 gives me negative 9. Positive times a negative is a negative. Remember, when signs are different and you're multiplying, it's always going to be a negative. 9 times what number is going to give me negative 81? Well, that's going to be a negative 9. Negative 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. 9 times what is going to give me a negative 36? Well, that's going to be a negative 4. This is my answer, because 9 times negative 1c is negative 9c. 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. 9 times negative 4t is negative 36t.